sessions, and I particularly remember, American University of Cairo, Mariam Usman. She has been a regular, so you remember by heart what's happening on these sessions in the introductory sessions. I am Ruxana from Center of Learning and Teaching. You have met Fatma, our education developer. And the person behind the scenes coordinating the event is Zarek. He will handle the chat and questions for you. So Imad, you can relax. The purpose of the series is to establish a collaborative community of scholars with peer sharing and learning. The free part of the course is to provide wider access to national and international scholars and to foster knowledge equity. That is more aptly demonstrated by our experts who have generously given of their time and energy. Over the years, we have developed this course to synchronize with the Researcher Development Framework by Vitae. This framework was reconfigured in 2025, and so at present, our webinar courses provide a strong coverage of the domains related to researcher values, behavior, research methods, ethical and responsible research, scholarly communication and publication, and collaborative research culture. It offers a limited coverage, though, of funding and finance, formal project management, supervision, people management, coaching and mentoring, and research translation commercialization. The course honors our FCC values of service to the community. For this webinar, like with all other webinars, we have had over 9,000 registrations from 400 international and 230 national universities, all spanning 93 countries. We have with us a very accomplished Dean of Libraries from American University of Iraq, Imad Bashir. I met him over the Amical network and delighted to know him. He has been at Iraq since 2021, and he's strengthening research and teaching at the university. He previously served as the Director of Faculty of Information at the Lebanese University from 2002 to 2021, off and on, and as Director of Libraries at Qatar. You've been going all over the Middle East, Imad. He has managed Iraqi journalist training program. He was appointed by the Lebanese government to the Supervisory Commission for Parliamentary Elections in 2009, and also later as an expert for UNDP for the same purpose. He have chaired the Regional Division Committee in 2021 to 2023, and he holds a BA and from the Lebanese University and a master's and a PhD in library and information services. He has all from the University College London. He received his professorship title in library and information management and media technology from the Lebanese University in 2008. So over to you, Imad, with such an impressive career and a background. We are very happy to welcome you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roxana, for the invitation. Also, I would like to thank Foreman Christian College and the CLT and all the team who are working with you on this. I really appreciate this opportunity to be part of this important course. Actually, research methodology is essential in all studies, all subjects, whether in liberal arts or even for graduate, postgraduate students, for everyone. I will do my best to try and cover the topic that I've been asked to talk about. This is my second time with you. But I'm talking about the same subject. I tried to update and upgrade everything to be up to date. Let me share my screen first, please, and then wait. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Slideshow, please.
Yes, 1 second.
Yeah,
Try to enlarge it a little bit. Make it
yeah,
slideshow. Just 1 second.
yeah.
Why it's not working? It's
It
not
was
opening.
okay before, so
It's not opened in slide. Wait. Okay, let me just 1 sec. Let me use another one. Just 1 second.
that's okay.
Screen T.
Yeah, perfect. We can see it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, it's not open. Anyway, it's not opening in the slideshow. I don't know why.
No, it is in slideshow now.
It is? It is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We don't.
I
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
see it like this here. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm speaking to you from Baghdad. It's very hot in here. It's
Yeah.
almost 45
Oh my
degree.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be talking about the publishing for impact. This is really an important subject and topic to talk about to postgraduate students, to scholars, academics, and everyone in the field of research. Also, I'll be talking to you from the librarian point of view. I'm a librarian. I'm not sure whether there's a librarians among the lecturer in this course. But anyway, I'll be happy to answer your questions after the presentation. I'll make sure that you will comprehend what does published impact means in various relevant contexts. Also, to recognize the tools that are used to measure and rise the publishing impact, and ultimately to pertain the best practices to make your research more visible. But before we start and talk about this, let's make a quick visit to the publishing landscape, the recent publishing landscape, using actually the journal citation report, which is a very good source to evaluate or to select journals to publish your articles. You see, the volume is up as in the in the report. This report is produced yearly by Web of Science. The 2026 version was recently published. In this report shows that the volume of journals is up, and the open access publishing is increasing in number of journals. Also, the mega journals is increasing. Also, it shows that the quality is down a little bit due to fabricated citation, fake results, and the use of AI, and many other elements, including the predatory journals, the journal hijacking, and the paper mills. We will be talking about all this. In this report, there was reported a total of more than 22,000 journals, including more than 6,500 open access journals. So the number of open access journals is increasing, and the number of scholarly journals is increasing. Regarding the coverage, the subject coverage, well, among the 22,600 journals, there was 7,700 journals covering subject in social sciences, and 3,460 journals covering subjects in the arts and the humanities. 520 journals were first to appear with the journal impact factor. So the number of journals that joined the club of impact factors, of obtaining impact factors, is more than 500, which is a good percentage, yani good number. Only 8 journals were suppressed from the list. Yani 8 journals lost their ability to have the journal impact factor. They were suppressed from the list. The other, for just for your information, the other source of scholarly journals is Scopus, and Scopus covers about 28,000 active peer-reviewed journals. Of course, there are some overlap between the journals in the Web of Science and the journals in Scopus, but mainly 99% of the Web of Science journals are indexed in Scopus, while only about 60% of Scopus journals are included in Web of Science. So to depend on scholarly journals, maybe you need to keep yourself up to date with this published report by Web of Science and with the publication list of journals by Web of Science.
Imad, you haven't moved your PowerPoint. Are you still on the first slide? On the header?
Move what?
Your slide is on the first slide. You're on the,
okay. Still on the first slide?
Yeah, you are on the front of your...
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Now
Did it
I can
change
share
now?
the slides from my end, if that works.
Is it changing now?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't changed.
I can share the screen from my end.
We can share the slides that you sent us, and you can tell us next, and we can move on. Is it okay?
Do you think it will work this way?
Yeah, we have worked with some experts before from our side. We have.
Okay.
So,
but
Zarek,
do you have any idea why it's not good? Why it's not working from my side? We tried it before. I mean.
Yeah, it was working when you did it before. Zarek, is this what the objectives of the presentation?
Yes. Okay. Let's move. Next. Yeah. Well, there is a difference when we say publishing impact. We don't mean research impact. Maybe you should know that there is a difference between these two things. There is a difference. Publishing impact is about how much attention a piece of scholarly output gets within the publishing and citation ecosystem itself. So it's usually quantified, it's quantitative. Whereas the research impact is broader than that and refers to the actual real-world effect of the research. It's mainly the change that a research produced outside academia. There is academia in it as well for the research impact. It helps in academia, but it's mainly considered, its impact is considered or valued in the real world effect and the changes it does to the cases or to the environment. Okay, next. Well, this is a little table to show you just the difference between the two, using a core distinctive elements like the measures, the time frame, the audience, and the example metrics used to evaluate the publishing impact or the research impact. Well, in terms of the measures, the publishing impact, it's mainly has the attention goes mainly within academia for promotion, for recruitment, for things like this. Whereas the research impact, it goes outside. It's outside academia mainly. It's in the industry, in government policies. We look at it where it does some changes. The time frame is often fast with publishing impact because it depends on the citations accrue over the time after the publishing. Yani how many times a publication was cited. Normally it happened maybe 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, or as soon as a new publication is read or disseminated. Whereas for the research impact, to see the result of the research impact, it's often a bit slow because it takes time, sometimes takes years, maybe a decade, to see the effect and the changes that occurred in the society as a result of this research. The audience, researchers are audience of publishing impact. They wait for new publications. The ranking agencies that are mostly depend on research citations to evaluate researcher and to evaluate research institutes and universities. Also, the promotion committees, when they are studying an application from any faculty or scholar for promotion, they depend a lot on the number of citations that the papers and research published by this applicant has reached. Also in recruitment, when you apply for a job in any academic institutions, they go straight to see what kind of H index do you have, how many papers you published, how many citations that you have for the last 2 years, for instance, things like this. Whereas for the research impact, we see that in the policymakers and the practitioners, the public industry, the government legislations, and the SDGs by the United Nations. We know we have now 17 objectives by the United Nations. Researchers sometimes try to work on these objectives about sustainable development, related to sustainable development goals, to try and help in improving the situation under these goals, including health, education, water resources, environment, so many things. The metrics, this is a main, we will be talking a lot about the metrics. For the publishing impact, we depend on the citation count, like how many times a paper or a research was cited, what's the impact factor of this journal, what's the H index of this author, etc. Whereas for the research impact, the research we consider it as good or has effect when it's the result of that research is used or adopted by a policy or helped in curing a disease, or the rates of disease dropped in society due to a research, like during, for instance, the pandemic. So many researchers were good to help in dropping the rates of the disease and the epidemic, to stop the epidemic. Next. We normally, if you look at the research landscape, there used to be some motto or mantra, publish or perish. This we heard this this mantra a lot. Now we're using yes. Someone raised his hand. Anyway, now we are using visible or vanish. Visible or vanish. So publish or perish is not used anymore. Now we're talking about visibility, or you will vanish as an author. Your publications will not be seen. Before that, it was publish or perish, just publish. It doesn't matter how many times you will be cited, or whether your publications will be really well disseminated and it will reach everyone, and it will be available in most repositories, free access or accessible free. Now we talk about visible or vanish, but even visible or vanish, nowadays there are some objections about this, because visible or vanish, as well as publish or perish, depends on quantitative criteria to evaluate the research. Now there are calls to really include qualitative criteria when it comes to research evaluation or to publish impact. So publish impact and research impact, they are combined together now, or at least there is a will or work for these two to be together, not for depending only on the publishing impact using the citation counts or other indicators. It's not enough for your research to be impactful. Some research have low citation rates, but they are impactful in terms of quality, and other research who have high rates of citations and high rate and published in very good journal or journals with very high impact factors, but they are low, they are not impactful in societal matters, or does not handle any issue that help improve the life of citizens, or help in curing some diseases, or stop the certain problems in the society. Next. Well, I've been after this publish or perish, visible or vanish, I tried to see if what could the future, what kind of mantra or motto the future could use in the few years to come. Since more researchers now, they are calling to consider quality or qualitative indicators as well as quantitative indicators when it comes to research evaluation. These two mantra, they aren't mine actually. I got this through a discussion with AI. So the AI, after some prompts and discussion, suggested that translate or terminate, which I like it good. So from now on, your research must be translated into practice. It's not enough to get or to gain citation counts or to publish in Q1 or Q2 journals. There should be a translation into practice of the content of your research or the outcome of your research. So if your research is not translated into practice, or it will functionally dies on the shelf. No one, publishing a research, it's not enough by its own. And no matter how well it is cited and how many times it was cited, it has to be translated into practice. through the use of the results in policies by decision makers, by government legislations, and so on. The other mantra is applied or archived. Also, I like this. This is more plainer than the first one. Your research is either gets used somewhere outside academia, or it will just sit in the archives as citation count only. So as we said before, having high citation counts doesn't mean that your research was impactful. Research findings adopted by a policymaker, clinician, company, or community, these are real signs that your research is impactful. If not, it's forgotten regardless of the citation count. So next. As I said before, there have been some voices objecting the dependence or the reliance on the quantitative methods in evaluating research or the published research. They say quality should be given an opportunity and a chance to evaluate research. These influential initiatives, there have been many initiatives, these influential initiatives advocating responsible research assessment and the appropriate use of metrics in research evaluation. Like they emphasize the need for metrics to be used responsibly, calling for a shift from solely relying on quantitative data to a more balanced approach that includes quantitative assessment and expert judgment. The leading association here, known by DORA, and also another one known by Leiden Manifesto. Next. DORA, next please. Well, DORA, or the San Francisco Declaration on Research Assessment, is one of the strongest and most influential global statements against the misuse of the journal impact factor. They are calling for stopping to stop the use of journal impact factor to evaluate articles. They want they are calling for a quality evaluation rather than the impact factor of the journals where you publish. There are now over 28,000 individual and over 2,000 organizations that have signed this declaration so far. It's mainly calling to give consideration to the quality of the research, so not only to the quantity of the citation, to the quality of the citation and the quality of the research. Next, the other association or manifesto is by Leiden. Next, please. The Leiden Manifesto. It was published in Nature by a group of scientometric scholars. Also, it does not reject metrics outright, but sets boundaries on their use. They have about 10 principles concerning the quality of research, and these principles include quantitative evaluation as well as qualitative assessment. They say they want a combination of quantitative evaluation, and that this quantitative evaluation should support qualitative expert assessment. So these two associations are leading examples of the voices that have been shouting or calling to reconsider the evaluation of research. Next, please. The relative citation ratio is one of the metric. It's being used actually now, but the direction now is to go into the article level, not the journal or the research or the researcher or the author level. We will talk about this later on. This relative citation ratio was benchmarked against the NIH funded the National Institute of Health funded papers. We will talk about this in the coming slides. Okay, next. Well, what the future research metrics is likely to include. I tried to get to the results or give you what the future is before I go into the metrics used for publishing impact, because last time the time was short, so we couldn't get into the last slides of the presentations. So I moved these slides to the beginning, so you look at it first, then we'll talk about the metrics. The future is likely to include declining dominance of the journal impact factor. So now journal impact factor is a main metric. They depend on it a lot. Most researchers now and academics, when they want to publish, they go for journals with high impact factor in general and with high impact journal impact factor in the subject. There will be increased adoption of DORA and Leiden Manifesto principles, the two associations that we talked about. More reliance on article level metrics like the RCR. More consideration for metrics like retractions, delisted journals, and self-citations. These metrics are now given more attention. Retractions now, it has in the past it was never used to evaluate a journal or to evaluate a researcher, or even when a journal is delisted from, let's say, Scopus or Web of Science, there wasn't any effect on its evaluation. Now these things are getting noticed, and evaluation agencies or agencies that looks at the research evaluation, they consider this. They consider the number of retractions in a journal, the number of whether the journals have been or was delisted before, and how many self-citations there are in certain articles. Actually, just to give you this little hint, I'm at the university. We are working with Elsevier to launch a peer-reviewed journal, and we are trying to establish the research, the board, the editorial board. Actually, one of the condition or one of the questions that I was asked when I proposed the editorial board members, whether any of them has had any retractions in his research career. So if you have retractions in your career, research career, this will affect your future, maybe in recruitment, in employment, or in publishing. The retractions, the delisted journals, and the self-citations are given more attention now, and strong emphasis on real-world societal outcomes will take place, because this relates directly into the quality of the research, not only the quantity. Next. So in brief, as a result of this, we will witness a swing from narrow citation-based indicators toward multidimensional evaluations that reflect the quality, openness, and social relevance of research. That means the voices that we are hearing from the associations and individuals that are calling for more consideration to quality of research will prevail and will take place and will be used in the future, rather than depending on the citation counts or the impact factors of the journals. Next. Well, the measuring. Now we will talk about the back to the publishing impact. What are the measures used to evaluate the publishing impact? Actually, there are 3 levels: the article level, the journal level, and the author level. But all the 3 levels now capture quantitative data. None of these levels actually has to do with the evaluation of the quality of the research. Next. So the author level measurements are used to recognize the author's impact in their field and to support their progress toward promotion and tenure, or communicate their influence on funders. As we said before, when you apply for a promotion or you apply for a job, they'll straight go and study the author level. They will check your H index, for instance, and the number of citations that your publications has earned during the year, or at least during the last 2 or 3 years. For the journal level measurements, may help authors understand the relative importance of a journals and make decision on where they want to publish. Most authors, they select for their publication, they select journal with high impact factor, or at least in a Q1, Q2 rank for the journal. The document level citation counts are used mainly in ranking and accreditation and in building the author H index. So these are briefly what means different level, what different level of this level, what all levels depend on when they measure. Next. So the journal metrics, let's start. I'll talk a little bit, try to give more details about the metrics of the 3 levels we have just mentioned. The journal metrics is the journal impact factor. What is the journal impact factor? This is the average citations received per article in the past 2 years. Some give study the average citations in the last 5 years as well. Web of Science study this in the last 2 years to assign a journal impact factor, an impact factor for the journal. The impact factor of a journal is an important indicator and measure for the journals to be selected and to be evaluated among journals in the same field and in peer-reviewed journals in general. The SkyMego or SciMego journal rank, the SGR, also weighs citations by prestige of the citing journal, and this is used by Scopus. Web of Science and Scopus are the main 2 active players in the publishing, in the metrics. So the journal impact factor, the SkyMego journal rank, there are 2 main elements in getting the average influence of the journals. There are limitations for these metrics, the impact factor and the SkyMago journal rank, the SGR. They are not reflective of individual article quality. There's no attention for the quality of the article. It's only the number of citation that these articles receive in the journal. It's subject to disciplinary biases and citation behavior differences. We mentioned the self-citations earlier. A lot of journals sometimes call their sister journals to cite the articles that are published in them. Next. The article metrics, this is the citation counts, Web of Science, Scopus, Google Scholar, and Dimensions. These are metric tools. These depend on the citations counts. The usage of the metrics, the download, the views of these articles in repositories, in journals, and databases, in the blogs, in the authors' blogs as well. Also in the social media, networks. They're more precise than journal metrics, but citations take time to accumulate. Citations is not fast, it takes time. Sometimes takes 2 years to know whether an article really got cited in other research or other publications. Also, since the coverage varies across database, not all journals are covered by all databases. Databases are selective. So the more your article is visible, the more it could be counted. This is why publishing sometimes in open access journals is more beneficial and gives opportunity for more citation. Next. The author metrics is represented by the H index. It's the number of papers, let's say 10 papers with 10 citations. This is how they produce the H index. The H index calculates the research activity of the author. There are many kinds of H index or of author index. The I-10 index, it's the same as H index, but it takes a minimum of 10 citations, whereas the J index gives more weights to highly cited papers. But of these indexes, H index is the most popular, and most evaluators now look at the H index of the authors if they want to evaluate his research activities. There are limitations as well. It's sensitive to database coverage, as we mentioned for the articles, and can be inflated by self-citations because authors got the habit of citing themselves or asking their colleague to cite them sometimes. There is a persistent identifiers like ORCID. ORCID, this is an ID for just try to protect the multi-use or the different use of the author name and to accumulate all the publications by one author, regardless of how the author writes his name every time. Sometimes authors write their names differently. So ORCID is something, ORCID ID, good for researchers and authors to have. So it helps them to track their publications, which were written under maybe full name or without the middle name, or with different spelling, or in different languages. some authors publish in more than one languages. They publish, for instance, in Arabic, English, and French, and sometimes the name appears differently. So when you have an ORCID ID, some people say it ORCID ID. ORCID ID, the ORCID ID, it's the one ID for all your publications, so all your publications will be counted. Next. Well, the measurement of research published impact began in 1970s. There's no need to go through all these. This is a development breakdown. You will be having a copy of the presentation, just to widen your knowledge about how these things started and where it's going. It started in 1975 with the first impact factors, and Google Scholar, for instance, started in 2011. Okay, next. Well, this is a breakdown of common research metrics tools and their associate methods. The journal impact factor, for instance, we mentioned it before. It calculates the average of number of citations received by articles published in a journal over 2-year period. Some do it over 5 periods, as I said. The citation count, counting the number of times a publication is cited in another scholarly works. Whereas the H index indicates the number of publications, let's say 30, by researchers that have been cited at least 30 times. This is the H index. The J index is a variant of the H index. This is a little bit developed because it gives more weight to highly cited articles, if articles are cited more than the others. The I-10 index, sorry, I can't see it from here, is the number of publications by an author with at least 10 citations. Okay, next. Well, no need to go through all these. Next, you can go, the main 3 things: the journal impact factor, the H index. We have talked about them. Next. The research, the ORCID, as I said, it provides persistent digital identifier for researchers and allow for automated linkages to their research outputs. Every author, every academic should have an ORCID number. It's free of charge. You can apply for that through the website of orcid.org, I think. Some academic institutions get an ORCID, get a subscription through an institutional subscription, which is really better to track all the publications by their researchers. ResearchGate, this is a proprietary score developed by ResearchGate based on how other researchers interact with a researcher content, and how many downloads, how many visits, something like that. Benchmarking, you can always benchmark with other institutions' metrics against those of peer or historical data of yours. You can do benchmarking. If you have a journal, you can benchmark it with similar journals by other institutions in a trial to try to get an evaluation. Next. The Altmetrics score, this has to do with the social media, the news outlet, the blogs. Altmetrics score, now they are counted as at any time your research is mentioned, or whether liked or something like that, or mentioned in any social media network, you will gain points to your research, and this will help your evaluation. Plumex is one of the systems that is used to count and evaluate research depending on the downloads, dimensions, and the captures by social media networks. Next. Well, I will give you a brief or little breakdown of the key players. We have 5 key players in providing research publishing metrics. We have Clarivate Analytics. They own the Web of Science, which I mentioned. The Elsevier, they own Scopus. Google, they have Google Scholar. And digital science, they have an open access service called Dimensions, but this could be used through subscriptions to have more options. It's free for certain services or features, but if you want to have more features, you can subscribe. It's called Dimensions. And the digital science, this is the Altmetrics for the social science networks counts. The statistical tools that are used by these players, Clarivate or Web of Science, they use something called Insights. Elsevier or Scopus, they use SciVal. Insights and SciVal, they are good for institutions to measure and evaluate the affiliated publications, their affiliated publications, or publications that are affiliated with the universities or by the faculty or researchers in this university. Google Scholar, they use a system called Publish or Perish. This is a software. Dimensions, they use Discovery, Landscape and Discovery application. And digital science or Altmetrics use Altmetrics Explorer. By the way, Dimension and Altmetrics, they are owned by the same company. And here in this table, I tried to count the main measurement tools that are provided by these owners through this statistical tool. Next. Well, as I said, impact measurements have limitations in the data they gather and in the capture they got. No one metric tool shows the full story. Errors are possible in each measurement. I have mentioned most of the advantages when I went through all the metrics. Next. Well, the citation count is a simple measurement, as we said before. It's the total number of times the article, journal, or researcher have been cited. I already mentioned this. Next. These are when we talked about Altmetrics and the social media networks. You got points at any time your publication crossed any social media or got any likes or mentions or visit or all these. It works by color. Every type of these mentions or likes or got a different point. For instance, maybe if it comes in a news, in a news story on TV or radio or news agency, maybe it got 10 points, for instance. These points, they accumulated and they counted it for you as counts in your profile, in your evaluation profile. Next. Well, these are just images or screenshot taken from Scopus. He is a key player, as we mentioned, by Elsevier for the author metrics. If you look at this screenshot, you will see all the metrics that are given, or which you can see through simple research. Here, for instance, it says that the author that I searched for has an H index with 34. he had 307 documents, and these documents were counted 7,669 times by 6,002 documents. Anyway, this is the number of citations, 7,600, and his H index is 34. Next. This another screenshot by Scopus for the source metric for the journal. When you the journal, the impact factor of the journal, this we call it the source details. Here the journal of the source is the International Journal of Social Robots. It has its impact factor and site score. It has its SGN, the SNIP. All these details are given when you do a search or you access this service, Scopus. You can go to publications, select the publication you want. You will get all the metrics that are related to this publication. Next. This is a screenshot by another key player, Web of Science by Clarivate, the author metrics. You see here all the kind of metrics on your right-hand side, and you will see all the metrics, the H index, the number of publication, the how many times you were cited, the citing articles. All of these metrics give you hints. They give hints on how to evaluate this author in terms of research activities. Next. This is the journal metrics, as we said, for the source. Here, for instance, we see that the journal impact factor is 5.7. This is for the 2 years. The 5 years is 5.3. I told you the journal impact factor by Web of Science normally is given or is measured for 2 years, and sometimes they do it for 5 years. So also, if you use this service, Web of Science, you can choose any journal through the publication, and you will get all the metrics. And the same if you go to the journal citation report, which I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. The journal citation report is also produced by Clarivate, and this is a main and essential source if you want to know the metrics of a particular journal, especially the impact factor. Next. Google Scholar, Google Scholar is by Google, and this is an open access. Scopus and Web of Science are subscribed services. You have to subscribe to these services in order to use them, while Google Scholar is free of charge. Now go to Google Scholar and search for any author or any faculty. You will get all the metrics that are related to his research activity. Next.
Imad,
yeah,
we have 10 more slides to go, and the time is nearly up. How do you want to
look for I'll only talk about 2 or 3 slides and leave the rest, because
okay.
I'll explain it in one slide. Yani.
Okay.
At the end. This is a screenshot from Dimensions. I told you, unlike Web of Science and Scopus, Dimensions is an open access. It's like Google Scholar. This is really a good metric tool if you want to know about journals in open access platforms, open access journals. If you want to know the metrics related to the open access journals. It is free, but there are, I think, as I recall, you can subscribe, pay some a sort of subscription to have more features. But you can at least get the features required to select a journal or even to evaluate an author. Okay, go ahead. Next. Okay, now we're done with the metrics. Of course, I can't talk about all types of metrics. I talked about the main metrics. I mentioned the main players or the key players in the metric tools and the kind of applications and services they are used to provide the metrics and the measures. Now, the part of this publishing impact is to speak or to talk on where to publish and where to start if you want to publish and to get impacts for your published research. Here, I advise you to visit one web or blog which is really a newsletter by Jamal Owaji. He's a well-known trainer in this field, and he works for Web of Science and Clarivate. I advise you to go there. You will find a lot of information, especially for those who are conducting or undertaking research, PhD research, or trying to write publications. The next slides are only a few, where to go, how to choose, what are the advices. Let's go through them in less than a minute, please. Next, let's go. Next. Well, avoid predatory publishers. Avoid predatory publishers. Be careful. I'm introducing few elements that help you to know whether these publishers or these journals are real and not fake. Okay, you have to be careful, especially when you go to the open access journals. Some of these journals are predatory, fake. You cannot depend on them. They steal your money. Next. The scope of the journal. Always read the scope of journals, because you should know whether the journal cover the subject you are interested in or the subject of your publication. Next. The audience of the journal. Well, you need to be cited. You need to be read by the others. Your aiming is to be more visible. So this is why you need to know about the audience of the journal. There are few instruction or advice how to find out about the audience. Next, you can read it. Next, the impact or influence of the journal. Get the impact factor. See where it's covered, in what databases, in what indexes. Whether these journals is covered in any repositories, things like this. Who is the publisher of the journal? Next. Well, one main common question is always asked by researchers: and how fast is the publication time? Some journal take maybe 5, 6, or 7 months to get published. It takes a long time. You need to know the periodicity of the publication, whether it's quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, and also the how quick in publication and how quick the reviewers are when they send your manuscript to the reviewers. Next. It has to be peer review if you are after promotion, or if you want to be cited more, or you want to publish in indexed journals, go to the peer-reviewed journals. There are many practical tips that you can go through these slides to help you select better journals or the best journals that help you publish impactfully. Thank you. Thank you. I think enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Enough.
Thank you, Imad.
Yeah,
We will
enough.
just pick 3 or 4 questions. There are
Yeah.
490 participants right now. And if
Okay.
we'll just pick up a few questions, and people may stay on beyond the time if
Okay.
they are free. Yeah. G. Zarek.
The first question we have is from Batul Khawar, who is joining us from SMBBMU in Larkana. She asks, how should researchers choose between publishing in a high impact journal with a low acceptance rate and a reputable journal with a better chance of acceptance?
Can you repeat the question, please? Say it again.
How to choose between publishing in a high impact journal with low acceptance rate and an average journal with a higher acceptance rate?
This is really a good question. I mean, low acceptance rate, you shouldn't go to the low acceptance rate actually if you want to get published. Even if the journal has high journal impact factor, it's not necessarily to go to the highest journal impact factor to get published. I mean, there are a lot of Q1 journals that have high impact factor with faster publication time or selection. I think this depends on the type of publication that you have and whether you need this publication for promotion. Are you in your early career, for instance, you need to be known, you need to be disseminated, or maybe there is a requirement by your institution or university to get published, otherwise you will not be promoted, or you will not be given certain incentives. This is a personal decision, but I agree publishing in low rate, in selection rate by journals is really difficult, but it depends. If you are not after the things that I mentioned, you are not in a hurry for that, you can apply for this. It's a difficult question actually. Maybe it needs to consider it more. I can send my email to the person who asked the question. Maybe we can benefit from each other about this.
The next question we have is from Dr. Shahida Parveen, who is joining us from GCW US. She asks, since research in literature and language often contributes more to knowledge, culture, and education rather than practical applications, should its quality and impact be evaluated using different criteria rather than relying on impact factor and citation-based metrics?
I totally agree with him. There is a high a big shout, let's say, I don't know what they call it in English, a big question now, and a big call for reconsidering how research are evaluated, and for not to depend only on citations, counts, or things. Quality, as we said, is main thing, and even if you want to have fund to be accepted, and when you apply for a fund, they are always asked for the quality of your research. They ask for the practicality of your research and how your research will be, the result of your research are implemented, and whether it has been used by governmental agencies or it had an impact on society. And I agree totally with the question. And I'm pro quality rather than quantity. I said during the presentation that high number of citations doesn't mean that your research is a quality. Certain research have low number of citations, but with a big ratio of quality, or with big quality in terms of research.
The next question we have is from Dr. Roxana Salim, who is joining us from University of Salkot. She asks, high-impact journals often take a lot of time to complete the peer review process. So what strategies can authors use to effectively manage and navigate these delays?
Well, I've given few tips in the slides. Always you have to know. Look, one thing researchers should know: they shouldn't finish their research and then go and search for a journal to publish. They should know the journal first. If you locate the journal first and you read a lot about the journal, you see the scope of the journals, the audience of the journals, the author requirements, and the kind of reviewers that these journals have, you will shorten the time to publish. So, my advice as a librarian, first select the journal and then finish your research. Don't wait until your research is done or finished completely, and then you start searching for journals. Journals are they easily can reject research. Read a lot, select 1-2 journals, read a lot about them, know their circumstances and their criteria, their conditions, and then finish your research.
The next question we have is from Dr. Khalid Mahmood Arif, who asks...
So you're only having questions from doctors and professors?
Most of the participants are from the professional fields, so that is why we have a lot of questions.
Very good.
Dr. Khalid asks, many researchers focus on publishing in index journals, but true research impact extends beyond citations. In your experience, what practical steps can authors take to ensure that their publications have practical influence on policy and professional practice, as well as research, rather than just adding another paper to literature?
Well, quality of your research is first, okay? The quality of the research. You should do quality research, not just to publish anywhere. And my advice to be more visible and for your research to be disseminated more and to be accessible more and seen by more audiences and more researchers, go first to open access journals. Nowadays, the number of open access journals is increasing, and many hundreds of open access journals are gaining now high rates, high impact factor journals, and they are getting indexed by main indexing services, including Scopus and Web of Science. Also, many publishers now, they are converting their commercial publications into open access. When you select a well-known publisher, and use an open access journal that this well-known publisher have, and the journal is covered by the main indexing services like Scopus or Web of Science mainly, that means your research will be impactful certainly.
Okay, thank you so much, Ahmad. You have a lot of satisfied and
just you excuse my English a little bit maybe, but it's okay.
No,
I tried my best.
Well with us. We are not
I tried my best.
Either. So thank you so much, Ahmad. It's a joy always to have you on our sessions.
Please share my email. You know my email. If anyone would like to ask any questions, or maybe if he has anything to add for me, on the presentation. I welcome any comments and any suggestions.
That's very generous of you. We will
Thank
note
you.
your email on your PowerPoint when we post it to the registrants. There were
Thank you very much.
9,000, so all 9,000 will get the PowerPoint.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you, Imad, once again.
you.
And thank you
Bye-bye.
to all our
Bye-bye.
participants. And please do not post unnecessary messages on the chat. It distracts our work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.